Welcome back to Afro Chess. I'm Zola, your host, as we uncover the beauty of African chess. Today we'll be looking at a game from the GM Mix for Norms tournament held in Serbia, February, with the white pieces GM Alexander Kovchan, a man with a peak rating of 26.05 and a 1-0 record against none other than Fabiano Caruana, world number 3, long-time world number 2. Can you imagine having a 1-0 record against Fabiano? Just stunning. With the black pieces, the South African sensation, Caleb Levi Levitan. He wasn't an IM yet. It was along his journey to get there. We kick off with King's Pawn opening, and Kovchan opts for the Rui Lopez, wanting to test his young opponent's knowledge in the most studied opening. All natural developing moves. All theory, this guy studied chess like crazy. Rookie supporting his center. Bishop draws back again. c5 pounding at white center. d5 threatens to trap the bishop. b5 prevents that and takes up queenside space. b4, given a slight question mark, but no big deal. Knight draws back. a5 firing at white's possible overextension. Knight g3, moving more pieces to the king side. Black migrates all the pieces to the queen side, which is being missed, source of counterplay. Gets some trades and the rook infiltrates. Kovchan will have none of that, immediately kicks out that piece. Bishop simply goes back to d2. The rooks line up on the a file, tightening up the pressure on white. The rook comes back in, king h2, possibly moving his king out of the way for a later kingside attack. He doesn't want it to be caught in the fray. Knight drops back, probably reloading to the queen side somehow. The rook left, trying to remove that invader. xb4, nicely timed. Now if you take the rook, black will take back with a pawn, and your a2 pawn will be a permanent weakness, especially in the endgame. The rook simply drops back, queen c4. Levitan has done a great job creating counterplay on the queen side and really invading his opponent. Bishop to b3, natural move, and the agent simply suggests queen c8. But if we played queen c8, I would not bother recapping this. It would just be a boring game, probably ending in a draw. But no, Levi Levitan stares into the soul of his opponent, probably says, "You're going down, old man." Queen takes on b3. Brilliant move. Just stunning. Sacking the queen for the exchange. Getting a rook and bishop and a pawn for the queen. Knight to c5. And the way you win this, black is slightly better, but it's kind of around equal. The way you win this is really use your pieces actively and keep your king safe. Queen to e3, stepping off the attack with the knight. Bishop b4, grabbing back his pawn. Rook b3, taking a pawn, simply. Queen drops back. The bazooka's formed on the third rank. Bishop b2, stabilizing the rook a little bit. Queen c1, stepping off the pin. Bishop takes c5, best move, entering a dangerous sequence. Rook takes c2. Bishop g2 is a serious error, as black can simply take this pawn, and he got away with grabbing white's rook. The bishop can drop back to d4 with tempo, but now you grab this, utilizing the fact that this pawn is pinned and can't take back like this. So white would have to take back with the bishop, and you got two pieces for the rook, and you're doing much, much better. Levi played, I believe, what Kovchan calculated. Rook takes on f3, natural continuation. Rook takes on f2. Sequence continues, queen to e3, attacking the rook, hoping that white moves his rook and hoping that black moves his rook and gives white the time to save his bishop, but rook takes on e2. Yet another brilliant move. Just give it that sticker. Illustrating the power of contact. White queen takes back, king takes on g7. Material is around equal, black's up 1 point. And the way you win this is you coordinate your minor pieces very well to support the pawn advancement while keeping your king safe and cocooned by the pieces. If you allow too many checks, pieces could drop off, or you could end up in a draw. Let's see how well the young man can coordinate his pieces. The e pawn was pushed to open some lines to the king. Knight f6, simply. g4 threatening g5, h6 prevents that. And Levi goes to work, gonna slowly advance up the board. h5 getting closer white's territory in order to promote a pawn. King slowly gonna find a way to get up the board. White's desperately trying to expose the king, but his pieces very nicely protect him. d7. And you see why having more pieces is better. They can protect each other and grab material. White will keep causing problems with checks, so black has to stay very alert. It is completely fine and much, much better. Pieces are far better with all those pawns. Gonna slowly advance while keeping his king safe. g2 is a mistake. It allows this very nastily to move. Queen to a4. And your knight is hit. If you naturally just protect your knight, which is what you've been doing, playing around with the pieces, well, now you've just builded a draw. Queen e8 check, king to the corner, another check, go back, get another check. It's just a dead draw. However, I believe in a time scramble. Kovchan didn't notice that. He moved his king up. Levi is back in the game. Bishop d3 prevents that entire line I just showed you. As you still go for it. Now you can reinforce your knight, and this simple check doesn't do anything, as you created an escape square for your king on f5 by moving the bishop. Love these little details. And he plays the bishop back, and we're back in the same position. Kovchan can play queen a4 again. Did not happen. Boys probably low on time by now. It's like move 77. King is walking up the board, going to support his pawn. Knight h3 threatens checkmate. Queen c6 check forced. You have to sack the queen for the pawn. Knight takes, king takes. And now he has to use the final trick in the bag. Bishop and knight mate. Take down a grandmaster. You have to use, can't hold anything back. You have to use all the techniques you've ever learned. Let's see. Just paying attention in class. By no means is this easy, but studied. It's possible. Trust me, I do not know, have a clue on how we do this. But I know you cut off the squares of the king and use waiting moves, and then there's something called W maneuver. That arrow showing where we want the king, because you're going to mate the king with the bishop. We want him on a light squared corner, not the dark squared corner. We've successfully pushed the king to the back rank. Now we're going to find a way to walk him to the other side. I'm going to cut off squares and use waiting moves. The W maneuver begins. Looks like the king is escaping, but the pieces are really going to monopolize those squares. Knight to d7, well timed, preventing the king from escaping. Bishop to d3, very nice. The king cannot escape and has to go back. We are almost there. Just a few more moves. Gonna push the king back. See the W maneuver? That's what I was talking about. Looks a bit like a W. That's how you push the king to the corner. And keep pushing them. You still have to be very careful. A simple move like knight to d7, stalemate. Now, very nice waiting move. Bishop to e6. King moves over to the side. The final two checks to deliver checkmate. Wow, what a game. What a game. That was how Levi defeated his first grandmaster. And an amazing grandmaster, as a matter of fact. Past his prime, but still a beast. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any other interesting videos you'd like me to cover, drop a link in the comment section. Peace out.